Hope everybody's having a great week. Thought I'd go ahead and do a video. I've done a couple of chicken coop builds, the mobile type of coops. They're kind of the bigger ones, but you can still move them around. They've got wheels on them. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start on my next project. My wife wants a duck house. Right now the ducks and the chickens all stay in the same coop in the chicken run area. So I'm gonna build a smaller duck house just for the ducks. I'm gonna build the duck house with a nesting box on the back side, and that'll be theirs alone. I'm gonna be using some plans I found online. I like the way they built it, and today I'm gonna start building the floor. And I was thinking at first I wouldn't put a floor in it, but I want to go ahead and put a floor in it because at that point it'll be easier to clean out the nesting material that they get in there. Because ducks, if you have ducks you know, and if you don't have ducks maybe you ought to know, they're very messy. They'll make a mess real quick, and even if you don't, like we don't put water or food in our coop, ever. Some people do. We just don't do it. They don't need to drink at night when they're adult ducks, or chickens for that matter. And it keeps down on the mice and all the other critters that get into your coop when you don't put food and water in the coop. I always have it outside. They're out in the morning, early in the morning, and they don't go in until it's time to go in. The chickens they'll let you know, they'll go in and roost at the end of the day. Ducks will kind of hang out, ours at least, will hang out by the doorway. You go out, and what I typically do, my whole routine, and I'll maybe do a video on that if you're interested, but you know, morning time I go out there, I get food and water ready to go, make sure everything's squared away on the fencing, nothing's down, no predators or anything waiting. I get the food and water done, and then I'll open up the coop. Everybody kind of runs out of the coop. The ducks go their direction, they do their thing. The chickens all run to the feed. In the day, right around 8 o'clock, maybe a little after 8, you can look out. My chickens are already in the roost. For the most part, almost every single chicken will be by 8 o'clock in the evening. They'll all be in their roosting area. And the ducks will be laying out near the door. So I'll just go out, I'll do my next check. And I always check and make sure there's no snakes in the rafters and no other unwelcome guests before I'll lock everything up. So, anyhow, I guess enough talking. I'll go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to get started on the floor. I've still got to go, and I've got to get some more material. I'm looking at their plans. I really don't want to rip down any 2x4s to make 2x2s right now. So, for the base of this build, I'm using treated lumber. 2x2 treated lumber, or I mean 2x4 treated lumber, sorry. Got 2x2 on the brain. And I'll probably use 2x2 treated lumber as well. And I need a couple more sheets of plywood. The plan's called for 3/4 inch. I'm not going to use 3/4 inch. 1/2 inch is perfect for me, especially when it's treated 1/2 inch plywood. So they're using siding. I'm not going to use siding. I'm going to use all plywood, and then we'll paint it to match, I guess, everything else we have around here. The cabin, the shop, and eventually the large coop will all be kind of matching coloring. So anyhow, without further ado, I'll go ahead and I'll get started. the duck house is taking shape now. Let's see, get a little further back. I've got to finish the floor. I want to put the tile down before I put the walls in. But I've got everything pretty much cut. The only thing I don't have cut is the rafters that I'm going to use. Let's walk around here. Had to turn the fan off. I have that big fan over there. If you can see it, yeah, right there. It is humid here today. But I got both side walls, back walls done. Next will be tile floors. Should be pretty easy. It's a 48 by 48 pad. So, I mean, honestly, I should be able to just put tile. Since the tile are 12 by 12s, I should be able to do 4 rows. So it should take, I think, 16 tiles. 4 times 4. See, 4, 8, yeah, 16 tiles. Should be. I got me another container of the glue that I use to make sure that the tile doesn't come up. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to cut the rest of my rafters out and at least have those set. We're supposed to get some rain today. Let's see how that goes. And I still have a nesting box that I want to build for this. That was part of the build. There'll be this back wall here. This is my area that they can get into the nesting box. I think you can see that. Let me go ahead and make sure. Yeah, so, yeah. Anyhow, so this right here will be the entrance to the nesting box. I'm gonna attach it to the back end here. The plans have an area underneath it open, and I don't like that. I don't want to have any snakes or mice or anything like that that can just kind of make their home underneath it. So I am going to actually enclose it. But anyhow, that's it for right now. Try not to do too much talking on the videos. It doesn't seem to work out sometimes. But I think this is going to turn out pretty good. Go ahead and I'm going to take the wall down now that I know it fits properly. And you know, I'm just, when I get to that point, I'm going to screw it in. I'll put like 2 screws in each section, you know, 2, 2, 2, 2 on the back as well. That way it holds pretty good. I tend to overbuild. I'm using 2x2s for the framing on this one, so the only 2x4s that are on this are going to be the base. And that'll make it a little lighter as well to move around. So I kind of need something lighter because this has to go in the chicken run. I'm putting it in between 2 trees. I don't want it too close to the pond, but I don't want it too close to the chicken coop. I want the ducks to go in it, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep chickens out of it because I don't want them laying eggs in here. I want them to do their thing in the coop and keep them separate.